And we're recording.
Awesome.
All right, so we don't have an agenda, but we're going to go ahead and do roll call to make sure everybody's here participating in the feedback session. So Carla's here.
Rachel's here.
Adam's here.
Mia's here.
And Chris is here.
And everybody's here. All right, so we are going to be giving feedback to Team 7 that we viewed their video this week. And we're going to each be given some feedback that we have obtained by watching. So who would like to go first?
So my initial feedback, so I only got through like 22 minutes before we started here, but the facilitator, she was awesome. I think she did a great job at starting the meeting, doing the roll call, engaging everyone, following the agenda, and just being a presence for the team.
I think she kept everyone on track pretty well.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Oh, there we go. Okay, Carla's got it on the docket ready. Awesome.
One thing I would say is that for when they were answering the conflict question, they didn't really give feedback. So like I know that with ours, we were able to give feedback to each other and kind of talk about like how with the conflict we had our situation and then kind of how we dealt with it or how we could change it. They as a group just basically talked about their situation and how they dealt with it, and the team members didn't really discuss it afterwards.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I found it very difficult to hear with a lot of the background noise taking place. I believe it was the young lady in the top right side. It was hard to follow some people talking when it would get kind of loud and hear what the input was. So that was some of the feedback that I would have, to either find a quiet place or mute when you're not talking so that it doesn't overpower everybody else.
Yeah, for sure. If you're going to have background noise, which is probably going to happen, especially when you have kids, young kids, just utilize that mute power for sure. Or maybe even the host, because they can control everyone's mute as well. Maybe the host just mutes the cray-cray.
Also in like the first 30 minutes, the guy that was in the top middle, he barely spoke, and his teammates didn't really do a very good job of incorporating him into the conversation. So he was very quiet and nobody really tried to ram him. Adam, I can't get into this Google Doc.
Man, did you request access from your other email, like on the last one?
Maybe, yeah.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's totally cool. We'll do this. All right. Let me try that. So let me know if you have access through that link that I sent to you now. And then while we're doing that, just for the video, so Dr. Chanley, I was very confused. I did not watch the video prior to this meeting here, but before we submit the Google document, I'm going to go ahead and watch the video and then provide my feedback as well to the document so we can submit it and I can be included in this. I apologize, didn't understand. Did you get it, Rachel?
Yeah, but it's not letting me in.
Yeah, so as far as any other feedback, I'm just having, 30 minutes is a kind of short time. But what that kind of tells me is there just wasn't a lot of content within that first 30 minutes. So maybe, it leads into kind of what Rachel was saying and everyone was saying was they didn't really engage that one guy who was in the middle. And there wasn't really any discussion around their answers or their reflections or around the readings. So maybe just taking time to slow down and provide more feedback and follow up, and the host asking more probing questions could be beneficial to them.
That's what I think. I think it was moving a little fast, and every once in a while you got to have that pause there to allow somebody to speak in case that young man wanted to say something. He really didn't have time before they moved on. And I mean, there were some really strong personalities in that room, which they meshed very well. But allowing him a chance to speak, like I really, once I went through what I watched, almost 45 minutes, 45 minutes, I really forgot that young man was even there, other than seeing him, because I never heard him say anything but introducing himself. So just slow it down just a little bit and allow everyone a chance to speak. I also wanted to add, I love the fact that the ones that were speaking, you know, they talked about having the devil's advocate and how they were going to have the one person, but with the discussion, they realized that it was a role that needed to be protected by everybody, not just one person. So being able to have that discussion to come up with that was really great.
Agreed. And it just goes to show that, like, adding in those discussions and you know, holding each other accountable to engage can change the outcome and come up with better ideas or unified ideas.
Also, like, I guess, like, we kind of talked about this a lot, but you don't really know what kind of week somebody's had, and so maybe they do need that extra, like, push. Also, yeah, the facilitator, she had a very strong personality, and she was awesome, but I can see how she would intimidate him because he was much younger and just like a little softer spoken anyway. So like it seemed like their personalities, where they might get along, still kind of clash in a group setting.
Yeah, I think with one of the things that she said was that she was a director, and I previously took a course at work where they had talked about different personality types, and someone who is a director, it might be harder for them to get along, not necessarily get along, but like work with somebody else that might be more like a relator or something like that. So I think that maybe that's probably what they have with their group. But I liked how she did check in with the group, like before she did move on. Like she asked them a question, like, "Are we good?" Like she made sure that she would at least pause and ask. You know, and it's hard when you're a director. You don't really, you just kind of want to keep going. You're like, okay, we're good. Like sometimes I can be a director, so I understand how, like, sometimes I don't want to discuss what I'm feeling or whatever.
Right.
I would also have to say that they did a really good job of following the agenda, though. I did see that. And
yeah, for sure.
I kind of took notes from that to how I was going to lead this week. So that was a really good job.
I don't really have any other feedback. I mean, I don't want to beat a dead horse, so to speak.
We're all learning.
Right.
Yeah, no, we're all learning. I don't want to just, you know, I think we hit all the aspects of it.
One other thing I'd say maybe too is like for their joke, they kind of paused for a while when one of the team members didn't have a joke. And I liked how, like, today when you didn't have a joke yet. So we kind of were like, oh, well, we'll just come back to it. So not to be afraid to, not necessarily, you can kind of derail from that and come back and pulse check back to what was missed previously.
Yeah. Because that was a good, like, minute and a half pause just waiting.
Right.
Telling them where to Google.
Right. Yeah, I was like, and I was watching it on faster speed, so.
Yeah, and then also there was a part where the one guy, his headset didn't work or something like that, and so he seemed like distant from the conversation for a while too.
All right.
Cool. So,
anything else that I appreciate the opportunity to see other groups, though. I do want to say that. And
for sure.
You know, it's like I said, I took feedback from just watching it and able to incorporate it in us They did have their gallery on, so I will give them kudos for that. So great job keeping the gallery on. But learn a lot from it, and hopefully our feedback can help them as well.
Agreed.
Anybody else have anything they'd like to add?
Not yet. I'll be putting mine in the next 30 minutes or so.
All right. So thank you for the opportunity. I hope our feedback helps y'all. And if that's it, then Mia, you can stop recording.
Okay.